Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Reality TV Africa. I am back with another review of this show because guys, over here we love everything reality TV. Okay, and guess what show we're reviewing today? We are reviewing the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip South Africa. Guys, this is a first of its kind in Africa. Honestly, South Africa are revolutionizing the whole reality TV scene, and they've really expanded that category. I mean, Showmax alone has a ton of reality TV shows, but for me, I just talk about the ones that I love watching. And guys, I have been waiting for this show since I heard about it back in January. I have exclusive contacts, and I'm just gonna plug my chummy Mbui for doing the damn thing right here. This guy has worked so hard, and honestly guys, I am so proud of him. I'm so proud to be associated. He is on the credits. He is his credit title are researcher. He basically worked behind the scenes with the production house. Obviously he got a good bag for that, and I mean that's why we do some of these things, to get noticed and get a bag out of doing things that we love, like reviewing these shows. So he helped with casting and recommending who should be on the cast. And Truty, some of your faves were not supposed to be on there, but he vouched for them and they're there. I'm just gonna keep it at that. He also helped with choosing the location. They had different options. Definitely it was meant to be an island. They were not even, I don't know if it was Seychelles or one of these African islands that were proposed. But yeah, Jamaica was also on the table, and he was part of the team that selected the location and selected the ladies. Guys, when I tell you this cast is top of the line, these ladies are amazing as a collective. Each of them obviously were the most controversial or the biggest, thing out of their own casts, because they are all a culmination of different shows like GQ, Pretoria, Cape Town, Johannesburg, Durban. Am I forgetting one? Joburg, I think I said. Anyways, if I've forgotten any, watch the show, guys. Watch the show. The drama does not stop, not even for 1 second. And guys, I'm gonna give the first episode a rating. Guys, honestly, I never give a 10. I'm not gonna give it a 10. I'm gonna give it a 9.7. It was excellent. Every single second I was eating it up. From the minute we saw Mel and her hubby catching up, obviously for me that scene was just like, Mel is, as a wife, she's a typical wife, I guess. She loves her husband, and his opinion is king in her life, and it feels like they have a certain perception about Bev from Cape Town, and they're talking about Bev, and obviously her hubby is not feeling Bev for whatever reason. And Mel obviously is also like mirroring her hubby's opinion. So she's going into this with a preconceived notion of Bev. And whatever, like, fine, she's not feeling her. Let's see how that plays out. Clearly, it's gonna play out in some form or fashion, Then we see Lassie. Lassie is, honestly, for me, I had missed seeing her on my screens. Lassie is such a force. She's such a powerhouse. She's such a... Oh my God. Honestly, I wish she had never left the show, but she decided to for her own reasons. But now she's back on the Ultimate Girls Trip, and her personality is just outstanding. She's funny. She has great comedic timing. She's opinionated. She's actually shockingly quite young, but so mature. And her association with the former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, is just a huge thing in and of itself. And yeah, we see her at the nail salon getting a pedicure, and her friend Mabusi baby came with all the vibes, and you can see them catching up about, you know, the fact that she's going on the ultimate girls trip, and they are wondering who's gonna be there. She says she heard about Mel from Pretoria being there, and they lightly talk about, you know, Mel and what she thinks of Mel, right? And the Tammy Taylor, you know, controversy. Obviously, by her mentioning that, we know it's gonna come up on the trip. I mean, these ladies have done their homework on each other. You can tell that they are ready to come with, you know, the questions about the most controversial things that have been said about them on social media and on the show, right? What they're synonymous for. Yeah, and then she talks about Nonku. She asks Mabusi, how are you and Nonku and Jojo doing? And Mabusi's like, look, I don't think me and her will ever be friends. We're not cool, we're not okay, and it's just, that's what it is. And of course, Mabusi's like, and you, what's the situation? And she's like, look, I didn't appreciate the whole, you know, how she came at me at the last reunion about Mr. Petals, and, you know, just questioning whether he was a real thing. And so for me, for Lassie, obviously she's going into it a bit cautious, and I guess maybe she's gonna play it by ear. We see LaJoy packing. We just get snippets of the ladies and them getting ready, the airport. You know, the airport is just handheld camera scenes and whatnot. Yeah, and the ladies land in Jamaica, man, and we see Bev and Crystal in the van, and then we get, you know, cutaways back to the villa, and the staff are getting ready. And I love, for me, it just felt so special, and I felt a sense of pride in some way when the villa manager and head chef, forgotten his name, sorry, was, you know, prepping the rest of the staff and telling them, guys, get ready, we're having VIPs arriving. And you know, these are Jamaicans. I mean, yeah, fine, they're almost like us Africans, but I like the respect that they're giving these ladies, and the fact that they are, you know, gonna treat them like total VIPs. Anyway, we see Crystal and Bev in the van, and Bev is there asking her asking her about the ladies and what she thinks. And, you know, they're just catching up, I guess, maybe because they kind of know each other, you know, being all South African. They've brushed shoulders here and there in different events and situations. Yeah, and Bev asks Crystal seemingly innocent question, like basically asking her, who do you think is likely to start a fight during this trip? And Crystal is like, well, you know, I don't know, I'm not sure. And Bev goes like, well, I think you're gonna be the one. And ooh, did that start some ish? Because Crystal, her mood, her energy, her everything just changed at that moment, and she was like, oh my god, I'm over it, I'm over this thing, I'm over Bev. And that van ride must have gotten so uncomfortable at that point. I could even see, I was literally laughing when they arrived at the villa, and Bev could not wait to get out of that van and get away from Crystal, because the air was thin in there. It was, Crystal had sucked all the air out of the van, and and Bev was like, oops, I stepped on a live wire. And clearly in this situation, Bev started the fight, because Crystal wasn't letting the bone go. She was like, you have pissed me off. Anyways, the ladies, yeah, they go, they're ushered in, given a hot towel, given a drink, and go to the pool area. And I think, who arrives next? I don't know if it was Lassie or Liz. But anyways, slowly by slowly, the ladies trickle in. Mel, I think Mel, and then Lassie. As Lassie is arriving, Mel is calling her Mrs. Zuma. And you can already tell that she's setting up the stage to make this a whole thing, a whole storyline about Lassie. Then we see the iconic Miss Nonku Williams, as she's calling herself, Nonku Williams International, arriving. And oh my god, she looks stunning, guys. Honestly, this is the best Nonku has ever looked to me. As in, body is snatched, face is snatched, lips, skin. The guys, the manager of the villa and the guy who was holding the welcome drinks, they were literally mesmerized when she walked in. She looked so good, and obviously when she gets to the pool area, okay, she's already warned of the fact that there's already a fight going on. Obviously, he's talking about Crystal and Bev. But when she arrives at the pool area, the reception she's given, you can tell these ladies revere her in a certain light. You know, Nonku is iconic. She is the most iconic African reality TV star in Africa, if you ask me. She is also currently holding the title as the longest serving Real Housewives in Africa, because she's been there for 4 seasons, and her bagging Ultimate Girls Trip put her a notch higher against her similar OG Sorisha. And Nonku is honestly TV gold. You guys might think she doesn't know what she's doing, or she's aloof, or just being, you know, like cautious or funny, but Nonku is smarter than we give her credit for. And I'll talk about it as we get into this episode. Yeah, the ladies all arrive. Crystal is still peeved about Bev, and LeJoy obviously arrives, and they're all catching up. And surprisingly enough, LeJoy is the one who pulls Crystal aside and tries to just tell her, look, these other ladies here, just relax. Don't take it that serious. Get to know the rest of the ladies. I mean, forget, you know, ignore Bev and just let it go, you know, because she even tells her, look, you are, you know, you're getting upset about someone calling you out on something, and you did the same to me when we were on our show, when we were filming. And Crystal is like, no, when I did all that, it was in the heat of an argument. She just said it like we were cool. And I kind of agree with Crystal there on that, because Bev just started something for the sake of starting something. But I just felt like Crystal she needs to let it go. And even just like, we've just arrived, we're not even at the middle of our trip. Let it go. We'll have more drama ahead, you know. And I guess maybe the time between them being at the pool and getting settled in their rooms helped Crystal, you know, calm down. Yeah, so the ladies are shown their rooms, and LeJoy and Nonku are not feeling their room situations. LeJoy got a room with 2 beds in it. I wonder what Londy's room looks like, because she's the only one who hasn't arrived. So that means there's an extra room hanging around, and I wonder if LeJoy checked it out to see if she would prefer that room. Anyways, it seems like the ladies just took what they were given by the villa manager. Nonku also wasn't feeling her room, and her and Bev are next to each other. Nonku's just had a shower, Bev's had a shower and a bathtub. And Nonku obviously feels like she should get the best room in the villa, obviously, you know, pulling rank. And you could see Bev is also excited to be next to Nonku, and everyone seems to want to be on Nonku's good side. Even Mel, you could see when she arrived, she was clapping, and Lassie was like, why are you clapping? And she's like, she's a queen, she's arrived. And that kind of rubbed Lassie off the wrong way, because Lassie and Nonku obviously don't really get along. But and of course Lassie is associated with our president, so she also feels like, hello, I'm somebody, hello. But yeah, Nonku has her own iconic status all the same. So Bev is and what I caught is she was willing to give Nonku her room. Just, I think it felt like kind of sucking up to Nonku and wants to be on her good side. And you could see even when they sat down to have that conversation about the ladies, I'm sure a lot of editing was done. All they picked up on or focused on was Mel and Lassie. And yeah, so Nonku is giving her opinion. She's like, you see, Lassie, she's not easy to read. I knew that's how she would greet me, but she's not easy to read. And you see how words hold weight. She can tell that Bev is hanging on to her every word, and she can tell that whatever she says will skew Bev's opinion, and probably even the rest, because of her, you know, who she is. Nonku came in strong. She's Nonku Williams, okay? And yeah, she's talking about Mel, and you know, before they got to their rooms, Mel and Nonku and I can't remember who were standing around and just having a conversation. And Mel is very vocal. She's like, I do not have kids. I've been married for 10 years. I don't want kids. And I mean, even on their show, it's pretty much, she's come in as whoever she was even before. She didn't want kids, didn't want kids. She didn't want to, mess her body. In my mind, I'm like, you can have a surrogate, but I guess she just doesn't want kids. And you know what? Motherhood is not for everyone. But you could tell Nonku was judging. She's like, I have 3 kids and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so when they're talking with Bev, Nonku that is, she's telling Bev, Mel, I feel, is like, thinks she's a Barbie doll and not in the best way. She thinks like I guess Nonku is just not feeling Mel. Weirdly enough, Mel is really feeling Nonku. So everyone is excited. You could even see Joy is excited to have Nonku. Mel was clapping. Bev is trying to suck up. I don't know who else. Was Liz excited? Well, we didn't see. But everyone is excited to have Nonku there, honestly. Maybe except her ex-castmates, who are Londi, who's yet to arrive, and Lassie. Anyways, yeah, so the ladies get to dinner. This is on night 1, and they sit around, and you know what? When we have these dinner scenes is where everything, all the drama unfolds. Yeah. So Lassie and Mel are the first to arrive, and Lassie is quick to gather up Mel and snatch her up and tell her, look, Mel, when we arrived, you were very, very, on about Mrs. Zuma. Let me just clarify for you. I was never a Mrs. I was engaged to him. And yeah, I am Lassie, and no more of that. I think Lassie is this time around, last when she was on Durban, she was very tight-lipped about, her relationship with the ex-president Jacob Zuma and what the situation was. In fact, she came in telling guys, my name is La Conkle, whatever her names. She said all her names. She's like, Google me, honey. Okay. And so here she's like willing. It's like she's willing to talk about it now because I think it's so far gone, and whatever the weirdness was about. And I had the rumor at that time he was threatening to sue production. I don't know if he was threatening to sue her, but production, if his name was mentioned in any shape or form on the show. But I think Lassie has come in with a whole new energy, and she's like willing to talk about it and own her narrative and control her narrative in the sense of she's getting ahead of it and talking about it. If you follow me on my social media pages, that is Instagram on reality_TV_Africa and on TikTok reality.tv.africa. Plug them in my description box below, the links. Follow me. I did give a background into who Lassie is. Lassie posted last week basically about herself, and she owned who she was from when she was a young girl to how she met Zuma and how he courted her and how she was still a virgin and how he engaged her and then broke her virginity and they had a baby, and then things kind of went downhill from there and he pulled away. And yeah, they're no longer together, but she got her life together, she got her body together, she worked out, did a lipo on her tummy, on her arms, fitness journey, and now she looks so good. She's built her business from ground up without any help from him, zero help financially. Lassie points to her. So at the dinner, we see this dinner was just so funny to me, honestly. It starts with the toast. So the villa manager proposes the ladies to have a toast, and this is where now I tell you Nonku knows how to start mess. She says, toast to Petals. And if you guys don't know who Petals or the context of Petals was Mr. Petals was someone who apparently was liking Lassie when she was last seen on Durban with Nonku, and That storyline was a bit iffy only because most of the ladies felt like Lassie had made him up and he was a fictitious person. And so, yeah, Nonku is bringing him up and kind of, like poking the bear and, like, yeah, and Lassie definitely was not happy with that. And she was like, Nonku, you need to let that go. Everyone is like, who is Petals? Because some of them are not familiar with the whole thing. And Lassie explains Petals was someone who liked me or was like, and we used to talk and send me flowers. And Lassie's like, Nonku is like, yeah, you never really clarified that for me. And anyways, and then a few minutes after that, I'm guessing maybe a few, I don't know how much longer, but Nonku gets a video call incoming. And she's like, oh, it's my boyfriend. And then Lassie is like, she takes, like, she literally, like, that was such a low-hanging fruit for her. And she was like, boyfriend? Which boyfriend? Which one? Hey, at that point, these two, by the way, honestly, I was laughing that entire scene because these two it's like watching two iconic tennis players going back and forth. Like, it was so funny to me because Lassie was like, which boyfriend? Which one? The last I saw or heard from you was you had a rough someone. And that rough diamond, obviously, RD was a very controversial situation. We saw it play out on the just concluded season of Real Houses of Durban. And guys, Nonku walked right into that one. Her and Lassie are definitely gonna have at it on this girls' trip. And yeah, and Crystal didn't make it any better, jumping in and making it seem like Nonku has many men. I was literally, guys, just go watch my reviews, my reaction reels on TikTok and on Instagram. I was literally dying of laughter at that point. And then, we see LaJoy ask Bev about her also a bit controversial situation with her daughter. Bev is now newly married to a whole new man, but she had a husband. And there was a whole situation about physical abuse and apparently, I don't know, something to do with money. I'm not sure what, but also allegedly, and I don't know if it's alleged anymore, but let me just say allegedly for the sake of this video, that her daughter slept with her ex-husband. And yeah, so the lady, LaJoy, is finding out like how she's doing, how's that going, and Bev just alludes to the fact that she's praying. She reached out, she looked at, she went into a spiritual, prayerful period and is, hoping for forgiveness. But she said she can't talk much about it because the matter is still in court. And I guess she kind of avoided that one, and only because the ladies were gonna ask, and anything that is synonymous with any of the ladies, they're going to ask about it. The only person who didn't really have much controversy on the table was Liz. Liz is one of the newer franchises, and yeah, she tried to be, like, oh, we're the only ones who had an international trip, and the ladies were like, no, you're not gonna do that over here because we pull more rank here, okay? Anyways, we see Crystal insert herself and tell Bev, look, I'm sorry for what happened to you. I wasn't able to keep up with what's going on with you because even I was going through my own things. And Nonku at this point asks her, Crystal, what really happened? Did those ladies really smash your face in? Smash your face in. But yeah, guys, I don't know. Please head on over to my Instagram and my TikTok. I posted that exclusive video of that whole fight between Crystal and the ladies. That season of Real Houses of Joburg, it was meant to be season 3. It was canned. It was scrapped because of that situation. And Brunette and that other lady really, really, really clobbered Crystal. But Crystal, also went at them physically, so it wasn't just that she was the victim. It was an exchange, but two against one again doesn't look too well. If you look at that whole situation, it felt like, yeah, that lady had her hand in Crystal's face and Crystal swiped her hand off and obviously made contact, and then everything went down from there because the ladies were like, oh, on her. Yeah, it wasn't a pretty scene. I'm gonna post it on my stories just so that to bring it back up as for you guys to see. So head on over there. But yeah, Crystal is a bit tight-lipped. She said tight-lipped about the whole line of questioning, and then they get into this weird conversation with LeJoy that she doesn't remember LeJoy being there. I don't know if it's selective amnesia. Honestly, I'm hoping it is, because LeJoy is kind of like shocked at the fact that Crystal is actually like, she doesn't remember her being there. Or is it like, like, I don't know. For me, I'm wondering if it's selective amnesia or Crystal just genuinely focuses on the negative things and not the positives, which is why the negative things stick out to her. It is the human condition to be like that, but Crystal really dwells on the negative. So, yeah, you can tell LeJoy is a bit shocked, and even the ladies are finding it funny that Crystal doesn't remember LeJoy being there. Anyway, what's also interesting is that the fact they took a cast trip to Kenya, my hometown, my country, and we didn't even get to see that. That would have been so cool. I hope one of the other franchises in South Africa or even Nigeria get a cast trip to Kenya. Anyway, back to the episode. The episode wraps up with LeJoy asking Crystal, did you physically attack anyone during that situation? And we see Crystal gulp her bubbly, because if you watch that footage, Crystal wasn't exactly the victim here, but yeah, now we see the upcoming episode. Londi arrives and the ladies are questioning why she arrived late. And I mean, it's actually a culmination of the upcoming season. There's a lot, guys, to get through. This is an amazing, amazing show. I don't know what you guys are doing. You are not watching it, because oh my goodness, we are lined up and set up for the best premium entertainment, guys. I mean, I was so excited when I heard about this show. And guys, please subscribe to Showmax, get your package, watch the show, because oh my goodness, it's so good. Guys, I'm gonna sign off and we will catch you on my next review. Guys, watch the Ultimate Girls Trip, and I'll also be talking about, of course, Real Housewives of Nairobi, because over here we love everything reality TV. Okay, so I'm gonna sign off, guys, and bid you adieu for now. Bye.